Moving on. Okay, here we go. Does everybody have their identities out? Okay. Now, what you see here, it says the cosine of theta equals something, and theta is between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. Whenever I give you something like that, what do you immediately have to do? You have to find the quadrant. You have to draw the triangle. What quadrant is this in? 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. That's in quadrant 4. Quadrant 2. Boom. Now, it tells you the cosine is 8 over 17. Yes? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Correct? Yeah? I'll be nice. I don't think this one works out as nicely as I want it to. No, it does. That's 15, but should that be positive or negative? Negative because it's going down. Yeah? It's this thing, you're fine. Now, it says I need to find sine of 2 theta. That's a double angle formula. You go to your trig identities. You go to your double angle formula. The sine of 2 theta equals what? 2 sine theta times cosine theta. So all the 2 is going to stay there. Yeah? 2 is going to stay there. Yeah. Because 8, 15, 17. Yeah, she hasn't given it back to me. 8, 15, 17 is a right triangle. Like 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 8, 15, 17, 8, 23, 24. Those are those perfect right triangles that you need to kind of start to recognize. Okay. What is the sine of theta? What's the sine? It's negative 15 over 17. What's the cosine? That's 8 over 17. Since it's all multiplication, there's not a lot of adding and subtracting in these. I would suggest you get a calculator. Mm-hmm. Tyler, you don't have a calculator out back there, do you? Good. So, this is 2 times, that 2 goes in my numerator. Do not multiply the 2 both the top and the bottom. Goes with my numerator. So this is negative 30 times 8, so that's negative 240 divided by, yeah, 2 negative 15 and 8, by 17 and 17, which I believe is 289. Check to make sure I'm correct. It's 289, right? 17 squared. Yeah.
Wait, do I like just do that, or do I do that?
No, just do what you're doing.
This?
Yeah, it's fine.
Wait, that doesn't answer my question.
You said, do I do that or that?
Yeah.
I told you to do that.
This?
No, what you're doing.
On paper.
Wait, so just that minus that?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, 2. What quadrant is my angle in? I didn't even answer anything. Yeah. Yeah, it's quadrant 3. Sine is what? Opposite of hypotenuse, right? So this is negative 1. This is 3. If you all whine at me and say you don't know how to do delta math, I'm going to remind you that you were talking when I was going over things. Yeah, you can give me that face. I don't feel good. How do I know, I'm crabby and I don't sound good. I know. How do I find my missing side length? So it's 9 minus 1, yes? So the square root of 8 is 2 radical 2. That's how you have to know it. But that is negative. Because you're going to the left, correct? Now, it wants the tangent of 2 theta. I'm doing it early, so you can't get mad. That's 2 tangent divided by 1 minus tangent squared. Okay, well, what is the tangent of theta? 1 over 2 radical 2. Why is it positive now? Because they're both negative. It's also positive because tangent's positive in the third quadrant. Yep. Divided by 1 minus 1 over 2 radical 2 squared. Now notice, I didn't rationalize anything because eventually you will, but don't do more work than you have to. So, simplify my numerator. I'd multiply the 2 with the 1, yes? But then the 2 and the 2 what? Canceled. So this becomes 1 over radical 2 divided by 1 minus 1 over. Now, when you square this, you have to remember to square everything in the denominator. 2 squared is 4. Radical 2 squared is 2. So this becomes 1/8. You have to square everything in the denominator. So 2 squared is 4. Radical 2 squared is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so this now simplifies to 1 over radical 2 times. Now, I'm dividing fractions, yes? Yes? So I have to multiply by the reciprocal. So this becomes 7/8. So everybody see how it comes 7/8? So this I'm going to multiply by 8 over 7. Multiply across. Am I finished? What's the last thing you have to do? Rationalize it. So this becomes 8 radical 2 over what? Over 14. Are you done now? No. Simplify it. 4 radical 2 over 7. Has to be done exactly like that. Has to. Okay? 3. What quadrant? That's in the second quadrant. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, yes? Which one's the negative one? The 5, because it's going to the left. The radical 7 can't be negative because it's going up. Okay. How am I going to find my other length? P-theta, yep. So negative 5 squared is 25. Radical 7 squared is 7. 25 plus 7 is 32. So this is 4 radical 2. How do I get 4 radical 2? No, I don't square it. Square, no. Oh, yeah. I can't wait till I grade them tonight. The tree, yes. Or you can recognize that 16's in there. All right, so we need the double angle for cosine. Cosine double angle. Now, if you look at your double angles for cosine, how many are there? There's 3. You're going to get the same answer for all 3. It doesn't matter. Me, personally, I usually use the first one. I use just cosine squared minus sine squared. So, that's the one I'm going to use here. Cosine squared minus sine squared. Recognize that as not, you're not adding. This does not equal 1. You are subtracting them. It's your double angle formula. You can use any of them. The reason I would not suggest you use the last two is you guys are not awesome about getting a common denominator. You're just really not. I love you, but you're not. With this, you don't have to find a common denominator immediately. What is the cosine of theta? Yep. Negative 5 divided by 4 radical 2. And I have to square that. Minus, what's the sine of theta? That's radical 7 over 4 radical 2. And I have to square that. Square your first fraction. So this becomes 25 divided by what? Yeah, square the 4. 4 squared is 16. Radical 2 squared is 2, so this becomes 32. Minus, square the second term. Radical 7 squared is 7. 4 radical 2 squared is 32. Subtract them. 25 minus 7 is 18. Simplify it. Now number 16. Do number 4. Please. I'm not answering any more questions because I wasn't here on Friday. They didn't get me.
Didn't get any
Wait,
questions.
like, dude, for that one?
Bye.
Maybe that one?
Bye.
I like her. She said she loved us.
She told me she loves you.
All of us.
No.
Who didn't she like?
That's definitely actually a lie.
He wasn't here, was he?
Huh?
No, I'm just kidding. He was here.
No, because it's me as well.
Oh, she said she didn't like you.
No, she.
Do number 4, please.
Sorry, I heard that.
I really don't know how to know which quadrant I get. I was struggling with that too. Because
Pi is 180 degrees.
Because pi is halfway, and then
No.
the third.
It's the third quadrant.
The third one, or 3 pi over 2 would be the.
270.
I don't know how to even explain this.
Goes 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi.
Pi over 2. You have a circle somewhere. Wait,
Yep.
0, pi over 2.
0, pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi.
But I know that you already have that.
Yep, and it's got them on there. What do you mean?
Yeah, but there's no pi on it.
0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. 0 goes with 0. Pi over 2 is 90 degrees. Pi is 180 degrees. 3 pi over 2 is 270 degrees. And 2 pi is 360 degrees. Nope. Tangent's positive, so it can't be in the second quadrant. It has to be in the first or third. Yep. Any of them